how much differently have you parented Mary as opposed to Monica?
I was a way better parent for these
For
kids.
sure.
Yeah.
Mom would say the opposite is the funny thing.
I
would
think
definitely
mom
say the
has
opposite.
increased in wisdom, which leads her to, I don't know, be like she's much more controlled in how she does things, I think. She used to be a complete rager, and
No, she's very calibrated, and she has like a
exactly.
system and a reason. And
She's
it's more,
fine-tuned that to where
Yes.
now she has like a really like good system. But I think you've just softened that big time.
Yeah,
It's okay.
you're just tired.
Just tired.
Yeah,
That's
even like
fair.
the time the little kids go to bed, it's like it'll be like 10:30, and I'm like, why is Lucy awake? Like she's like 4 years old. Whereas for us, we were in bed at 6:30.
But when you think about it, you're softening up a little early here. Because
our
only have,
4-year-old
like-
is not up at 10:30. It's not. She's not up at 10:30
every night.
Not every night. Maybe not Lucy, but
the
Luke
twins
and Thomas.
sometimes
yes,
will end up watching
Luke
movies.
and Thomas.
Yeah, and it's very much like just don't make any noise.
Yeah, don't go. You don't have to go to bed unless you're bothering Dad.
Come on. Like I work so damn hard to get these kids to bed every night.
It's true.
Sometimes there's just.
That's why I leave at about 6:59.
That's 7 o'clock with bedtime starts.
Yeah.
Sure.
The process.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a freaking NASA launch.
Yeah, but like I got 3 kids, and my third one is he's raised so much different than my first one.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, like exponentially, it's got to be a pretty big difference between number 2, you're number 2, right, Mary?
Mhm.
And number 16 now. You agree? You agree with that,
Yeah, it's
right?
totally different. Yeah.
In good ways and maybe not so good ways.
Yeah,
too.
both.
I think it's mostly good though.
Right.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
let's hear your case for that. I mean, my case would be like my wife and I have figured out actually what's, majorly important and what we put down on the list, and years of experience have helped us with that.
Mhm.
But we definitely are a little too soft sometimes with the youngest. Is that about the same way?
I think it's like it is priorities and figuring out what really matters and what doesn't. The things that don't hit that really matters 20% in there.
Mhm.
Those are kind of like extra soft on that. But I feel like there's a stronger emphasis on the 20% that does really, really matter. And so, yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but I would say there's, more of a focus on, I don't know. I feel like it's a more well-rounded view overall, just because it aligns with what you want the priorities to be. Because I think before it was just kind of shooting in the dark a little bit, and just like each task was just trying to get the kids to bed, and that was just the end. Whereas there's kind of like an overall goal now.
Right.
Yeah.
But you also got to think like by adding more children to the mix over time, it's like the other ones are also growing up. So like the whole system kind of changes to where now you have like extra helpers and then also more people to help. So it's like, I don't think it's like even really fair to say like, is it the same as when you had 3 kids? Because it's just a totally different system now. So
It's totally different.
yeah.
Yeah, the environment, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Is that what
yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
So, and you're number what?
4. I'm number 4.
Oh, okay. So we got 2 and 4 here. Gotcha.
Mhm.
And then you are only a late sub because Adrian messed up. I mean, sorry.
Adrian.
Messed up his face. He kind of does. Sorry, I was thinking Rocky and like the
Oh.
cut man in the corner. It makes sense.
Adrian.
Yo,
Yeah.
Adrian.
Like that face kind of says that, right? So compared to you guys, let's put some numbers to this, right? So if your parents were, let's say, what's the best number way to do this, Mary? So on a scale of intensity, let's put it that way, right? Out of 50, where would you put your parents when you were growing up?
Mhm.
Let's say like, in the 1 through 5 ages.
Oh, and like how intense they are for ages 1 to 5.
Right.
I would say they were more intense back then, before there was.
Like on a scale of 50, would
Structure.
it be like 45-ish? Would it be
It's hard to
35-ish?
say. I mean,
Who
every
makes a scale of
every
1 to
every.
I was going to say,
Okay.
It's like, yeah,
1
where
to
did
10
50
or
come
1 to
from?
100? 50.
that's
Well,
like algebra.
They're homeschool kids. They can't do math.
On a
Wait a
letter
second.
and number scale. So the square root of
Right.
47. Okay, what's a better way to do this?
10.
10.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Simple.
When you were getting, when
But
you
then
were
multiply it by
young,
4.
and then divide by 3, and
Uh-huh.
then square it. So would you say like 8, 9, somewhere in there, and then it's back down to like 5?
I'd say
Help me
probably
understand.
8 back to 5. Yeah, not
Okay.
like, I mean, every little kid thinks their parents are the strictest people in the world and
Sure.
the most like irrational people on the planet.
Is that what we mean by intense, though? What do we mean by
Yeah,
intense?
good point. It's
good
kind
question.
of it's a hard thing to quantify. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to put like trying to help anyone from the outside understand where you're coming from, and put like I'm a numbers guy. I'm always like, all right, 1 through 10. What how was that? Like, so
Yeah.
1 through
Sports guy stats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. And yeah, just from a communication
Yeah.
standpoint, I think that might be a male thing too. Like, all right, great. You think it was fine? What does that mean? 1 through 10.
Right,
That's
right,
funny.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it's an involvement thing. Yeah, intensity would be a lot of different
strictness
stuff.
or
I think what the more children have brought more balance to the family.
Mm.
Just
How so?
it's just like you can't overcomplicate stuff when you have 16 kids.
Right.
So it's just there's not room to overcomplicate anything. There's not room to stress about things that don't matter. So you just necessarily zero in on the things that do matter.
Mm.
And I think it just provides a more balanced approach. And I also think there's also the element of just like, I don't know, my mom's always said that she feels like she's a better parent to phlegmatic, specifically children, now than she was with the older kids because she's choleric herself and she's just learned what works best for them over the years.
Right,
So it's just kind of like with practice brings an element of balance, I think. And also just like the kids working together, the way that, just the flow of things. It's hard to
Yeah.
describe how the flow of things work.
well, you got to think it's like think of it as like a party. Like if you have 3 people in a room, it's kind of hard to like get things going and like be, even organized. Like, what are we doing tonight? It's kind of like everybody's just sitting there like, what do we do? But if you have 15, 16 people, 18 people all in one house, it just kind of like groups form, like all these things. It's like its own little ecosystem.
Right.
It's true.
So
Yeah. And you
A
break up
game
into
breaks out.
subgroups
Yeah.
and then,
Yep.
yeah.
Is that fair? Is what you're hearing sound right to you?
You definitely, I think a part of the your mother, in my opinion, is far less picky,
Mm-hmm.
strict, anal, whatever the word you want to use is. Like she was raised in an extraordinary, detail-oriented family, and so that was her natural proclivity. And the number of kids just worked that out of her.
Yeah. You can't.
You can't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like you can be a germaphobe for 2 or 3 kids and it like will blow your brain out.
Mm.
But you can't do that if you got 16 kids. You won't be able to get anything done if all you're doing is sanitizing everything. I mean, that's a silly example. But so she's relaxed a ton and she saw that. Actually, I'll give you an example. We're in the car. So this is like what, 2 days after Christmas right now, like December 27th or whatever. That's when we're filming this. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that because
How dare you?
who knows when we're going to release it? Who knows when it might not release
it's like
this for a couple
2027.
months. Yeah. But it was on Christmas Eve. We were in the car for something, and we're 5 minutes away from the house. And she said, "Okay, I have to get my mind right." Like she just said it out loud. I have to get my mind right and remember the priority here is to have a joyful home. It is not to have everything run perfectly smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were having really like 4 parties at our house on Christmas Day. So the first party was just like everyone has. The presents opening up in the morning at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It's just nuts. It's nuts at our house. And Mary and her husband were there, and Aiden and his wife came over before he got busted up. And so that was like considered what most people would think. Like that's like a party at my house, and the presents were stacked up halfway up the tree. It was incredible.
Mm.
But then her parents came over at 9 o'clock, and we had them as guests. And then at 2 o'clock, I had 2 of my brothers and their families come over. So we had even more kids. And then at like 5 o'clock, they left and my parents came over. So it was really like we were looking at a marathon day at Christmas, and everybody's Christmas is busy, but this is all happening at our house. And so Ashley is feeding all of these people, like these
people.
waves of
Food.
people coming in.
There's a couple of
And-
randos there. Just like, who are you?
Right. But I'm telling you, 10 years ago, it would have driven her crazy. And now, like, she went into the day intentionally to keep the peace and to remember what the purpose of this was. Hence, we have the tool, the purpose maximizer for holiday planning. Like, what is the purpose of this event? And when you focus on the purpose, then you're much more calm. So she's way more calm, I think, than when you guys were younger.
For sure.
More laid back. And I hope I just don't, I'm more tired and just older, but also I just don't lose my temper as much as I used to. I go nuclear less often.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean never.
I haven't seen it in a while.
I kind of went nuclear last
In
night.
a few days.
I kind of went nuclear last night. And it was about bedtime because it was like I'd put David to bed. And I asked him.
This makes sense.
This is not a you thing, it's a David thing.
Why, David? Why?
Shout out David. Great work last night.
11 years old.
Is that what he is? Is he 11?
I don't know.
Something like that. Tim
Yeah.
probably knows.
He's 11.
No one knows. I wonder if he knows. I don't know.
Can someone get on that?
Somewhere between like 8 and 12.
David,
That's
why
what I'm
do
here
you-
for. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just here for the numbers.
I put him to bed. I needed to go to bed early. I was tired after Christmas and, just don't feel good. Got the congestion stuff going on and everything. Put this kid to bed, 8:30. I insist that he stays in bed. I'm asleep. 9:30 comes around and he's downstairs for something. And I just...
On a scale of 1 to 50, how angry were you?
Yeah, I was pretty damn. I was upper 40s, man. Upper 40s.
Wow.
So, but it's because
Good scale.
it's continual with him. And I asked him, why do you want me to suffer at that time? Why do you
So
want me
dramatic.
to
He's
suffer,
like, I was
son?
thirsty.
I don't want you to suffer. Yes, you do. You want me to suffer
This makes so much sense.
after I put you in bed every night because you insist on getting out of bed. You want me to suffer. Now, why? What did I ever do to you to want me to suffer, son?
I came in at about 9:30, and I was met with
Oh.
3 angry faces. And I was like, I'm just looking for my AirPods.
I remember. I was asking you, like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's right. You walked in.
What are you doing in here? I was
And when
like,
Dad's walking to the house in his underwear, going up and down stairs in his underwear, you know something's not good.
Catching
What
some
the hell are you
shrapnel.
doing
Yep.
awake? Gosh.
But that used to happen more frequently than it does now. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
I hope
Yes.
so.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense to some degree, but some people would say, well, there are more people in the house. Like, how does it's got to happen more frequently than it used to. But you think it had the opposite effect.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.